And I must recognize the fact that when God created man and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, that breath of life must have been the blood of man. Because when God gave him a command, he said to man, you can eat of every tree in the garden, but don't touch the tree in the midst of the garden. If you bother that one, that's the day that you'll surely die. It was necessary for Jesus to come because man willfully disobeyed God. When God created him, he created him for nothing. He took him from the dust of the air. And you know dust ain't good for nothing. If you get it on your clothes, you wipe it off. If it get in your eye, you wash it out. But God took nothing and made something out of it. And then when he created man, he gave him dominion over everything. And then when he saw that man was lonely, he put him into a sleep and made a woman from a man. The reason the devil never approached man because it is impossible to deceive God's elect. It was impossible for the devil to do anything with man simply because man was created for God. So since he couldn't get to man, he got to the closest thing to it. He went around him and got what was made for him. It's nothing wrong with a man being attracted to a woman. If you're not attracted to a woman, I think something wrong with you. But what bothers me is when a man is attracted to another man. Then I know you messed up then. But when you're attracted to a woman, it only comes natural because God made a woman for a man. Don't y'all get me wrong. I ain't talking about lusting. I'm just talking about what comes natural. It's natural for a man to look at a woman and appreciate her beauty simply because God made her for him. But God made man for himself. And when the devil knew he couldn't get to man, he got to the woman. And knowing if he got to the woman, she was going to get to the man. But the charge that God gave man was to him. And when the devil got to the woman, she got to the man. Because the Bible said when Eve ate of the tree, she gave it to Adam. And then when God took his voice from his voice box, matriculated on the wings of the wind, put legs on it and walked in the midst of the garden, he never called the woman, but he said, Adam, wherefore art thou? And when Adam hid behind the fig leaves and behind the bushes, God said, what are you doing? He said, I'm hiding because I haven't got no clothes on. Who told you they didn't have no clothes on? And the first thing he did was do like most men do today. When they fail, they say, that woman you gave me, it's her fault. And the first thing he did was blame it on Eve. When I heard God said, Eve, where are you? She passed the buck and said it wasn't me, but it was the serpent that did it. But when God got ready to deal with man, he said, I gave you the charge. Brethren, the bishop is giving you the charge. It's not to your stake supervisor, but it's your charge. It's her job to help you, but your job is to lead the jurisdiction. Help me, Holy Ghost. See is a man hiding behind the skirt tails of a woman. I would do this, but she, nothing. God called you. If God called the woman, then you step back and be the assistant and let her pastor. If God called her to be the bishop, step back and you be the supervisor and let her be the bishop. But if God called you and ordained you, then if you fail, fail right. Don't try to pass the buck, but lift your hand and say, for God I live. Say it, Campbell. Say it. Help me here. Lean on somebody and say, Jesus is here.